on how to create commercial conversations with your target audience. So today's topic is how to manage personal change effectively, something that happens to all of us. We're going to dial into the importance of managing personal change and the effect that organizational change will have on us as people or salespeople. So I'm joined by Jordan Abbott, the sales poet. If only I could say my own surname correctly. And Jordan's been through some quite abrupt change in the last couple of weeks. And I thought it'd be good for Jordan to share his experience with you and how he's managed that effectively.
Yeah, thank you for having me this morning. It's great to join you and our viewers. But yeah, it's funny. I think initially
you can say that now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. After reflecting, it's funny. I think one of the reasons that sales is such an attractive profession to some outside of the way that we're compensated is that the change is the one constant. It keeps us on our toes. It's exciting. And as you mentioned, yeah, I felt the brunt of some rather abrupt change. So I was working for an organization and I was laid off by said organization with very little warning, I may say. And
let's just say let me stop you there. Morning, Andrew. I just thought you were doing a good morning Vietnam style good morning there. But great to see you.
Brilliant. So yeah, I was on the receiving end of said change, and it was the first time I'd experienced that. It just so happens that the timing was impeccable, given that I was completing some personal change training with Dr. Grant, who's in the audience.
Good morning, Dr. Grant.
And yeah, it was tough. It was, as I said, never experienced it before, but the one positive was the fact that we were going through this training, starting to better understand how individuals can manage change that's impacting them. So without that, I don't think I'd be so chipper this morning talking about said change.
Take us through some of the emotions and the feelings that you were experiencing, having received that or been the receiver of that conversation with your business. And what was it that Dr. Grant Scared So What model empowered you to do?
Yeah, so in all honesty, it was sort of pure disbelief, right? I was shocked by what happened. I couldn't quite come to terms with it. And I think, I kept telling myself, oh, it's just business. I almost didn't feel like I was able to have these feelings, partly because, I was sort of thinking, oh, well, nothing that I do is going to change this change. So, and I didn't necessarily feel that I had the right at that time. So I again, as I said, I was in disbelief. I was shocked by the change, and what the methodology allowed me to do is to start really reflecting and turning inside to better identify what those emotions were, understand how the change as a whole was impacting me, how those emotions were impacting me, and then start to reach a point where I could move forward. I'd laid the foundations. I'd understood how I was feeling, and I'm not talking here about just jumping to the assumption that okay, well, this change has happened, so I need to deal with it.
Yeah. And
Um,
let me add a bit of context as well, because time wasn't on your side either, right? For many, they're in a fortunate position to to receive some compensation for that situation happening to them, and they could take some time to reflect. But with 4 weeks notice and a
yeah.
mortgage to pay, that's one thing you didn't have. So
No, no,
how do
Christmas horizon.
yeah, with Christmas on the horizon as well, and two dogs to feed, um so you didn't have time. So just talk us through, um because I could imagine, dusting yourself off and picking yourself up and saying, right, I now need to get another job,
Yeah,
could be quite a daunting thought, especially with someone, like yourself, 3 years
yeah.
in sales. I know a couple of years ago you questioned whether or not sales was for you. So what was it that this the methodology really kind of taught you, let's say?
Yeah, so I think one of the most beneficial things for me was the fluidity of the scared portion, because day by day, hour by hour, I was feeling in a different way about the change. So
Yeah.
initially, it was a case of, okay, am I surprised by this change? Well, yes, I am. Do I champion the change? Initially, no, I do not. Um, you know, um,
You
what
felt
actions
conflicted.
can I do to help me better understand what the change entailed, what that looked like for me? Um, could then use that information to move back. Okay, am I championing the change? Well, yes, yeah, I am. Am I receptive of the change? Yeah, based off of the information and the understanding that I've now sort of achieved, then it was a case of, okay, what are those different options that are available? How can I explore all the different options that are available to me, right? So that I'm not just on a whim, as you said, picking myself, dusting myself off, and just jumping at the next thing. I
Mm,
really wanted to ensure that I understood what opportunities lay ahead, um, and then in doing all of that, and I was going back and forth and revisiting different sections, as I said, because I was feeling differently as the days changed. That was giving me a new perspective, right? So
mm,
I then made the decision, okay, I need to move forward with this change. I want to make the best out of this change, because it is an opportunity at the end of the day.
yeah,
Right, and then from there, I was able to really, I laid the foundation, so I had full confidence in the decision that I'd made, um,
yeah,
which gave, again, as I said, gave me that confidence to start laying out a plan. Okay, what
yeah,
does the future look like? What are all those options that are available to me? And you know, it wasn't necessarily, okay, I'm going to get the exact same job. I thought about, okay, you know, am I going to come back and work at Supero? Am I gonna act as a video consultant?
yeah,
Um, is sales still the thing? Because
yeah,
while I felt that yes, it was, I just wanted to be sure that I had, um, you know, left no stone unturned. Uh,
yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah. I mean, great advice. And if we look at your situation through the lens of Scared So What, the personal change model that we both became certified in, and
yeah,
and as you said, um, you had the biggest test that you could possibly have, which is being made redundant whilst you were going through the training to
yeah,
become an accredited instructor. Um, you uh, you were able to use the scared portion of the methodology, the questionnaire that really helps you critically reflect on what's happened to
yeah,
you, so you can make a decision one way or the other. Am I in favor, or is this an
yeah,
unfavorable decision to move forward? And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I have to say you probably felt this was an unfavorable decision that you'd come to. You had to start looking for options, even though you were still in shock almost from what had happened to you. because you
Yeah.
thought you were going to be at that company and progress within that company for a number of years.
Yeah,
And
indeed.
so then you made that decision. It's like, okay, my teeth are gritted. I need to explore my options, as you say. So then talk a little bit about the so what part of the methodology and how that was so helpful to you moving forward.
Yeah, I think what it was is it allowed me to take full accountability of my future, essentially. So I could start to plan on what what are the gaps between here and where I want to be? What do I need to do to get to that successful outcome, however I defined it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And
again,
you were defining that, right? You
what's
had
that?
an opportunity, and you were defining that successful
Exactly.
outcome. You had an opportunity to redefine that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then, it was again that options piece, right? I wanted to ensure that I had explored all the options that are available to me so that when I did move forward with something, right, I had a clear vision of what that looked like. I had hope, I had belief that I would be able to get there. Um, and then it was all about throughout that period staying true but also having the flexibility to revisit certain other options. I've spoken with various people to help me on this journey, because while this is personal change, it's something it's uncharted territory for me. So I
Mm,
want to understand other people. I want to how it's affected other people in the past. I want to get their perspectives, get some, um, just get a fresh view on things. Because as I said, in certain days, my judgment could have been clouded. I could have been feeling a certain way, and it was just helpful to have that support network, so to speak,
yeah.
to really lean on in moments. Um,
To
and
to then allow you to make a more informed decision,
yeah,
um, as Dr. Grant nicely pointed out, so that you avoid making assumptions, which
yeah,
I think we all do, whether we're conscious of it or not, and it can often lead us down the wrong path.
certainly,
Yeah,
certainly. And yeah, I think it was it was as you said, it was a lot more efficient a process. I don't think I'd be in the position that I'm in now, 2 weeks after receiving the news. Uh,
expecting some job offers this week, as well, right?
yes, I am indeed. I am indeed.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So yeah, the timing of it all was just it was really impeccable.
Yeah,
Really, it was fantastic.
brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to bring it to a close, I think, because we've only got a minute or two left, and I want to thank you for sharing your situation with us.
Thank
It's very relevant, I think, given the time that we're in.
you. Yeah,
Only yesterday, you and I were at the B2B Sales Innovation Expo, and a friend of mine had to leave early because he needed to manage a redundancy, um, uh, phase that was happening within the business. So redundancies are still happening. So I think your story is so relevant to so many salespeople out there. And the good thing is there is something that is available to everyone, every salesperson, to help them manage any personal change that's happening to them, not just organizational change that's completely out of their control. And so, if anyone listening does want to hear more about the Scared So What personal change methodology created by Dr. Grant, then please reach out to Jordan and I. I think we're the first uh, Scared So What accredited instructors, although Dr. Grant will confirm that. So we're looking forward to helping others in their journey of personal change and how to manage that. And if you're at the B2B Sales Innovation Expo at the Excel in London today, we're headed down there later this morning as Sales TV. So we'll be interviewing many people. And so we hope to see you later. Enjoy the rest of your week, folks.